As we near 2 months into Season 11, it's time we update you guys on the best champions for low ELO. Our analysts have strategically picked out 3 champions for every role that have the highest carry potential for the current patch. Low difficulty, strong in the meta, and with ban rates below 10% are 3 of the major factors in determining our picks. One of the best strategies you can use to climb low ELO the fastest is limiting your champion pool and being consistent with it. That's why the champs we recommend must have low ban rates, so you can play them almost every game. It's been proven time and time again that the easier champions will help you climb the quickest. We're not saying that you can't climb with certain champions. In fact, you can climb with any champion in the game. However, you'll see the most immediate success with the ones in this video. To stay on top of the meta for every single patch, be sure to drop a sub and turn on those notifications. And with all that out of the way, let's jump right into it. Our number 1 top lane recommendation by a long shot right now is Urgot. He's become such an amazing pick over the past few patches, thanks in part to the discovery of a really broken build. Urgot's ban rate currently sits at 3% in gold and below, so maining him won't be an issue. As for that build, Titanic Hydra into Frostfire Gauntlet has crazy strong synergy with Urgot's kit. The Hydra cleave damage allows you to instantly one-shot waves with W and offers crazy AoE damage potential in skirmishes. Frostfire Gauntlet provides amazing sticking power, so it kinda acts in a way how Frozen Mallet used to as a core Urgot purchase. The stacking health from Titanic, Frostfire, and then Black Cleaver works so well together with the Titanic Hydra passive as it converts 1% max health into bonus AD. After crunching some calculations, this means at your 3-item spike, you'll have 27 bonus AD. The core build just provides Urgot with so much damage and tankiness, which is exactly what you're looking for in a strong low ELO top lane champ. Press the Attack is without a doubt Urgot's best keystone thanks to the interaction it has with his W. Each tick of damage from W gives you a stack of PTA, so you can proc the rune almost instantly. For secondary runes, grab Conditioning and Overgrowth to scale even harder into the mid game. If you're looking for some solid ELO gains up in the top lane, then look no further than The Rock. We had to leave Malphite off our last low ELO picks video because his ban rate was astronomical at the start of Season 11. As things have tailed off a little bit, and since Sunfire is not as broken as before, Malphite is now a really consistent low ELO pickup. Even though Sunfire isn't mega busted like in preseason, Malphite is still a top 3 carry champ to climb with. His ban rate hovers around 10 to 15%, which is much lower than the 25% he had back in 11.1. The simplicity of Malphite's kit combined with how impactful it can be makes him a low ELO god. Poking the enemy out with Q in lane is very easy, and then once you hit level 6, the all-in power is tremendous and foolproof to execute. Like Urgot, Malphite can be ludicrously tanky, yet still one-shot carries with his full combo. Another huge benefit to picking Mal is that no matter how well you perform early on, you'll always be of great use to your team. One good ultimate in a teamfight is all it takes to win games with Malphite, which puts his carry potential on another level. For the build, Frostfire Gauntlet is actually the more optimal pickup instead of Sunfire after the buffs it received a while back. Malphites who build Frostfire are winning 55% of games, while Sunfire users struggle more at 53%. Thornmail second into Randuin's or Force of Nature third is very standard. For the keystone, take Comet to enhance your Q poke and run Inspiration secondary with Biscuits and Time Warp to help with sustain. And then for our third top lane recommendation, you really can't go wrong with Garen. Garen is as broken as he's ever been in Season 11 since his main weakness of having low mobility has been completely eliminated. With the mere 20-second cooldown on Stride Breaker active, you have a consistent dash that allows you to easily reach targets. Garen has no problem at all mowing down his opponents once he's on top of them. It's getting there in the first place that's the issue. Issue no more though, thanks to the broken Stride Breaker dash and slow. Your trading pattern on Garen is so simple, yet hard for most champions to beat. The tankiness W provides guarantees 1 trades whenever it's available and gives you a really easy win condition to play towards. Whenever W is up, play aggressive and look for trades, and when it's down, be more reserved. Since all of Garen's damage is point and click, the ability for you to take over a lane and snowball that lead is way easier to do compared to most other top laners. Without any skill shots, there's no way to miss your damage, which gives the enemy 0 outplay potential when you're rolling. Build for Garen is Stride Breaker into Deadman's and then Sterix. Take Conqueror for the keystone with the Resolve secondary running Conditioning and Overgrowth. Making our way into the jungle now, Mundo is completely busted for the lower ranks. Mundo's ban rate is right around the 5%, which allows for great opportunity to consistently play him. Much like Garen, Mundo's been loving the Season 11 item changes as Turbo Chemtank really enables the champion. Chemtank allows Mundo to reach his targets so easily now and leaves the enemy with much less counterplay. Ever since his direct buffs a while back combined with the Chemtank buffs, he's been a god tier pick to climb low elo. Mundo scales like a monster into the late game, can stack defensive items to get super tanky and still beat you up in the 1v1 because of the insane base stats from Q and E. Since Grievous Wound items tend to be purchased more in the higher ranks, Mundo falls off a little bit, but in the lower elos, that's not the case at all. Players less frequently purchase Executioners or Oblivion Orbs in the lower ranks, giving Mundo way more strength. Upon reaching your 2-item spike of Chemtank into Spirit Visage, taking over the game becomes so simple. Third item should be a Thornmail, and if the enemy comp has a lot of healing themselves, grabbing an earlier Bramble Vest is a smart play too. For runes, take Fleet Footwork with Inspiration Secondary, running Magical Footwear and Approach Velocity. If you're into playing junglers who can spam gank early and be very active on the map, then look the way of Rammus. Rammus just made the cut for this video as his ban rate hovers between 10 and 15%. The green Armadillo is the perfect low elo jungle pick as he's simple to play, has potent gank threat, scales like a beast, and has a great mix of damage and tankiness. Since low elo players tend to have weaker map awareness, this makes Rammus' gank plays extremely reliable. If you're zooming in with Powerball active, it's so difficult for the enemy to react, and before they know it, you'll be right up in their face slapping away at them. Couple Powerball with Ghost as your summoner spell, and Rammus is arguably the most reliable and effective gank power for any jungler. The rank 1 Rammus in NA, Lord Semi, runs Ghost every single game and has climbed to Challenger doing so. The low cooldown on Ghost and crazy move speed it provides allows Rammus to be so impactful early on. Once you pick up Chemtank, there's quite literally no counterplay to a Rammus popping the active along with Ghost. It's hilarious to watch in action and even more fun to play. Thornmail 2nd and Gargoyle Stoneplate 3rd work really well to round out your core build. Take Aftershock as your keystone with Sorcery Secondary opting for Nimbus Cloak and Celerity. If you've been searching around for an optimal AP jungler, look no further and start spamming Fiddlesticks. With only a 5% ban rate, Fiddle will be a really nice addition to your champ pool. Low elo games tend to turn into clown fiestas more often than not, and that's where Fiddle really shines. Lower ranked players will constantly take fights without a care as to where Fiddle could be, which leads you to getting off super high value ult plays. A multi-man Fiddle ult is up there as one of the most impactful teamfight tools in the game, and since constant teamfighting is so prominent in low elo, Fiddle can run away with games by himself. The fact Fiddle's clear is so healthy means you can start the game off with a control ward instead of extra potions. Place this control ward on the side of the map to where you're pathing away from to prevent your weak side from dying to early jungle ganks. Once you hit level 6, be as active as possible whenever your ult is off cooldown. There's so many different ways to gank with Fiddle at 6 since his ult can be used over walls, making his gank power disgustingly strong. Rush a Rocket Belt into Zanya's and then Void Staff for the build. Dark Harvest is Fiddle's best performing keystone in the lower ranks, and combine it with Inspiration Secondary, running Perfect Timing and Cosmic Insight. Making our way over to mid lane, Diana is the best assassin you can play to climb low elo. Diana currently sits below a 6% ban rate. With one of the less punishable early games for an assassin, Diana can farm safely with Q and absorb poke with W until level 3, to where she can start playing aggressive looking for solo kills. At level 6, Diana possesses one of the best skirmishes for any mid laner, as her full combo is relatively easy to execute and can one-shot squishies. We like Diana so much more than most other assassins for the lower ranks, since her teamfight power is just so amazing. Not only can she single out a target and eliminate them immediately, but a multi-man flash ult play followed by Zanya's can deal so much damage, provide massive disruption, and allow your team to follow for cleanup. Thanks to Diana passive, her pushing power and ability to side lane is the best for any assassin, which gives her so much versatility. Once Night Harvester and Zanya's have been completed, Diana has a great mix of burst and a surprising amount of durability. Zanya's and Lichbane can be interchanged as 2nd and 3rd items, depending on which you value more for earlier on in the game. Electrocute is Diana's best keystone with Resolve Secondary running Shield Bash and Bone Plating. The low elo queen, as we've come to know her over the years, is Annie. For how strong of a pick she is, Annie has one of the lowest ban rates at only 0.8%. No matter the meta, Annie will always remain a top tier recommended pick to climb the lower ranks because she's just so simple yet effective. It will likely only take you a few games to really get the hang of Annie, and therefore you can start focusing on the macro aspects of the game that actually make you a better player. If you're having to spend hundreds of games trying to fine-tune certain champion combos or constantly thinking about how you should be playing mechanically, it really is going to halt your progress as a player. Playing Annie allows you to learn the game faster because you don't have to juggle learning the champion with learning the game. Her all-in burst combo is very difficult to mess up, but will easily one-shot squishies every single time. CSing is so simple since her Q gives mana and cooldown refund on minion kill. The build for Annie is a Luden's Rush into Zanya's and then Rabadon's. Rocket Belt can be interchanged with Luden's based on preference. Electrocute is her best keystone combined with Celerity and Scorch for secondaries. And for our third mid lane pick that will bring you astonishing results and see you skyrocket up the ranks is Malzahar. His ban rate clocks in right around the 5% mark. Malz is very similar to Annie in the sense that his overall strength is extremely high, while being someone you can pick up very quickly and see immediate results. We all know how influential Mal's ultimate can be, as it offers the best single target lockdown for any spell in the game. When you've got champs like Yasuo, Yone, Katarina, and Fizz being spammed in the lower ranks, Mal's ult can shut them down so well as you transition into mid-game fights. Early laning phase is where Malz is most vulnerable, so you really are just looking to farm up safely to Lost Chapter buy, and from then on out, you can perma-push waves and provide your team with roam priority. As long as you survive against these highly contested fighter and assassin picks early on, then you'll render them completely useless when the mid-game comes around. Teleport as your second summoner spell is really key, as it allows Malz to pass his early laning much easier and scale into his massive 2-item spike. Once Leandre's and Demonic Embrace have been completed, the double burn proc synergizes extraordinarily well with Malz's kit and allows him to take control of games. Rylai's third works really nice to round things out. Aerie will be your keystone pickup combined with free boots and cosmic insight from the inspiration tree. Kicking off our top 3 ADC picks will be the Battle Mistress. Sivir has really shot up in power as a great low elo pick over the past little while. As a result, her ban rate has been on the rise, but still sits at a very reasonable 6%. The lethality build on Sivir gives her such ridiculous potency, as the mechanical skill required to pilot Sivir is at an all-time low. On mana immune completion, the infinite mana allows Sivir to constantly poke with Q, and as you transition into Duskblade second, the damage will begin to hit really hard. Long range on Q allows Sivir to sit back at a safe range, and combined with spell shield and move speed from ult, makes her one of the more forgiving ADCs you can play. Perma wave clear combined with utility from ult allows Sivir to be useful no matter how the early game plays out. Sivir's ability to stall games allows for miraculous comebacks, and just by simply popping R can lead to easy pick plays or clutch disengages. The new build is incredibly fun to play as well, so if the reason for not playing Sivir in the past was because she was too boring, then definitely look into giving her another shot. This complete build consists of a Manamune into Duskblade second and then Cyrilda's Grudge third. For the Keystone, Dark Harvest packs a nice punch combined with Sorcery secondary running Mana Flow and Transcendence. Rocket jumping over to our second ADC that will bring you limitless LP gains is Tristana. Players are preventing Trist from stepping onto the Rift in only 4% of games, which is really insane considering her strength. The Yordle Gunner is a premier carry pick no matter the elo at the moment, as she's seen a huge spike in power due to other ADCs being nerfed and her core build being buffed. If you want to take games into your own hands and rely much less on your support to make plays, then there's really no better ADC than Tristana. The burst threat from Explosive Charge with Hail of Blades at level 2 gives Tristana the ability to take over right from the start. Push for that level 2 before your opponent, and when you hit it before them, level up W and strike for the first blood. Tristana's tower taking ability is the best for any ADC. It's so great for the lower ranks since rotational plays tend to be way less proficient. This allows Trist to easily knock down towers without any retaliation and amass a really nice gold lead for her team. The self-peel from W and ult provides a really nice safety net, and on the flip side, also allows for really aggressive game-changing plays. The build for Tristana is Kraken Slayer into Phantom Dancer and then Infinity Edge. Rain down on your opponents with Hail of Blades, coupled with Precision Secondary running Triumph and Alacrity. Misfortune will take the spot as our third ADC to dominate low elo. With a ban rate below 3% in silver and gold, Misfortune aligns nicely with our criteria we set out. MF is much like Annie for mid in the sense that it really doesn't matter what the meta's like, you can always fall back on her as a reliable carry pick. Strong laning phase, amazing team fight, press R to win potential, and the simplicity of her kit are the top reasons why MF earns a spot on the list. You don't need to be any kind of mechanical god to play Misfortune, which allows you to focus on aspects of the game that matter most. Gale Force has been a really nice addition in Season 11 that helps out with MF's weakness of not having a gap closer. Grab an Essence Reaver second and then Infinity Edge third for the core build. Press the Attack is meta for MF's Keystone, and then pair it up with Domination secondary running Taste of Blood and Ravenous Hunter. To round everything out for the support role, start setting your opponents on fire and be a potent carry force by picking up Brand. The ban rate of Brand is on a pretty nice level as it bounces between 5 and 10%. We often hear low elo supports complain about not being able to carry their boosted marksman. This just won't be an issue with Brand though, as your ADC will turn into the support and you'll be topping the damage charts game in and game out. Early on in lane, you should be focused on poking the enemy ADC with W as they go for last hits. Once you tick 6, Brand's damage and all-in power is difficult for most bot lanes to match, especially if the enemy support and ADC are right beside each other. Come team fights, look for that opportunity to throw down a multi-man ultimate when the enemy team is grouped up. Just by the press of this button, Brand can burn through multiple HP bars in a split second. All bets are off once Brand completes his Liandry's and Demonic Embrace, as this item combination turns him into a god. Dark Harvest will further your scaling power, combined with Sorcery Secondary, opting for Mana Flow and Scorch. Another great carry support you can use to heavily influence games is Swain. Swain's ban rate makes him very obtainable for most games, as it's right around the 7% mark. We rate Swain so highly for a few different reasons. Number one is due in part to the insane pick power from E, and for a spell that's only on a 10-second cooldown, it offers so much zone and kill threat in lane. You should be looking to throw E out whenever the enemy ADC is going for last hits, and just by doing this, your elo will rise exponentially. Our second major factor that pushes Swain onto our list is that he's got the best 2v3 power for any support in the game at level 6. Oftentimes, you can just bait in the enemy jungler to gank you, and as long as you have ult available, then it's so easy to turn what may look like a losing fight into an easy win. Don't underestimate how tanky Swain can be with ult running, as you can soak so much damage for your team while still dealing an insane amount too. And then, being a relatively easy champion to pick up gives us no choice but to include Swain in our top 3. The build for Swain is Liandry's Rush into Zhonya's second and then Demonic Embrace third. Take Electrocute for a nice pop-up burst to help secure early kills, combined with Inspiration secondary with perfect timing and biscuits. Once perfect timing becomes available and your ult is ready, it just won't even seem fair as to what this champ can do. Oftentimes referred to as a ELO inflator at the start of Season 11, Maokai's support is still disgustingly strong and should be on your radar. He received a little nerf to his sapling damage a few patches back, but this only dropped his power level slightly and made him way more accessible to play. Maokai's ban rate is one of the lowest for any champ in this video at only 1%. His zone control with saplings come mid-game is what really pushes Maokai over the edge. Once you complete your core items and have E maxed out, one sapling can eliminate half the HP bar of a squishy. Controlling Dragon and Baron becomes Maokai's specialty and allows you to very easily secure those objectives for your team. Sapling power is just one of the many strengths to the pick though. Maokai's point-and-click lockdown from W is foolproof to execute and allows you to set up ganks so easily, snowballing a nice advantage early on. W followed by ult and Q at level 6 provides tons of damage and a long CC lockdown which will net you kills every single game. An Imperial Mandate Rush followed by Demonic Embrace and then Oblivion Orb thrown in there if the enemy team has healing is Maokai's core build. Take Comet when against ranged supports and Aftershock if against aggressive heavy engaged supports. Run Inspiration secondary with free boots and biscuits. So there you have it guys, those are our top 3 picks to dominate low elo and climb out the fastest. To stay on top of the meta for all the upcoming patches, don't forget to drop a sub and turn on notifications as we're working hard to bring you the best new trends before anyone else. Thanks for watching everyone, have an incredible day and we'll see you back soon.